Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to the effective buy signals for dummies, which is just a nice way of saying simplifying trading, which I'm a big fan of. But my name is Mark Helweg, and I'm excited to be here with everybody tonight. So let's take a look at the strategy. It should be very easy to understand, and then I'm also going to show you some of the most advanced practice technology that's now out and available on a really cool new speed trading competition website called TradeOff. So this is an interesting hybrid webinar where you actually have the chance to learn a new strategy. Very, very simple, but also, as we all know, it's one thing to look at a car in a showroom, it's another thing to drive it. And this allows you to actually take the strategy and apply it, and you'll have a chance to actually practice this tonight as well. So we'll get started here in just a minute. Let me do a quick sound check. Can you guys tell me if you can hear me just by typing in a yes into the questions box? Okay, thanks guys. All right, let's get started. We are now at 8 o'clock Eastern, and I want to respect people's time as well. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, the risk disclaimer I always talk about before webinars, and this is basically that trading involves a high level of risk and is therefore not suitable for all traders. Before deciding to trade, you should carefully consider your trading objectives, level of experience, and ability to tolerate risk. Pretty much the common sense is that don't trade with money that you can't afford to risk. So that's just an important thing to understand. But let me go ahead and turn that off so we don't hear that making noise. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right in. The webinar and practice. So again, this is a hybrid webinar, and it has basically 3 parts to it. So first, I'm going to actually do things out of order here, but here's the general idea. We're going to learn the simple strategy. When I say it's simple, it's really simple, but I've been trading for, going on 25 years and was a senior strategy developer for 2 award-winning hedge funds, and I can tell you that even though I know this strategy, I've known it for years, it's still a very good exercise to see how it functions, because it can be a very effective strategy at times as well. So just keep that in the back of your mind. So we're going to learn the simple strategy. We're going to go to tradeoff.com. I'm going to show you everything you need to know there. It's a very easy and quick sign-up process. And then at tradeoff.com, we're actually going to go through several custom-made practice sessions for a TradeThirsty event tonight. So it's ABC 1, 2, 3, very, very easy, very simple, and it should be, it'll be very easy to do this, and very rewarding. It'll be a different experience for most of you. Excuse me. So you don't have to go there right now, but you will when I tell you to go to tradeoff.com. Here's what we're going to do. You want to sign up for a new account if you're not already signed up. Now, many of you may already be signed up there. If you are, just simply log in. If you're not, then what you want to do is you want to sign up. Now, let me back up. I'm going to take a step back. Actually, we should probably advance the slides here. Let me apologize for that. Let me take you to the 3-step process here. So that was actually on pause. Again, learn simple strategy. Go to tradeoff.com is 2. Practice trading strategies number 3. So sorry I had that pause there. And then this is the kind of sequence you'll want to do in a few minutes when I say go to tradeoff.com. Now, backing up just a bit here, tradeoff.com is actually a very cool website where you can go for free and practice speed trading. And what speed trading is the engine will go back and randomly select a week or 2 of stock data and won't tell you what it is, and allows you to practice your skills against that market. So you can't cheat, but it's real stock data, and it's a fairly sophisticated way of disguising it. Like, for example, they can move the price of the whole time series up or down, and they also change the dates as well. So it makes it hard, impossible. Well, we'd like to think it's impossible to cheat, but so you can practice, and then it's a really neat new competition website as well. So just to show you what else they have on the side, because you want to know this, they have what's called the Top Trader Challenge every Saturday at 11 a.m., and you can win money. You put an entry fee of $5 or $10 there, and you can win thousands over time. There's a big event coming up at the end of February. I believe it's on the 24th, and that's going to be, actually, let me just double check here. That's going to be on the 24th, and that's going to be a $5,000 prize pool, so for speed trading. The second event happens every day, every weekday at lunch, called the Wolf of Wall Street, and that's Monday through Friday. That's actually 12 noon. I'm sorry, Wolf of Wall Street is 7 p.m. Eastern time. Monday through Friday, and the last one is the Lunch Hour Frenzy, and that's Monday through Friday at 12 noon. So you'll see a lot of other traders at these events. This is just a site that's new and rolling out, so it's going to be growing a tremendous amount over the upcoming months, but it's a lot of fun. If you're interested in chart trading, if you're interested in trading the markets, this is a website you need to know about. So that's aside from tonight, just walking you through quickly the sign-up process. So this is the home page at tradeoff.com, and you want to go up and you want to click on sign up. If you have not signed up for an account, if you already have one, simply click log in. Yes, and I'll post a link as well, Val. So in fact, let me go ahead and do that right now just to respond, because that's a good idea. So I'm going to type it in. It's www. Give me a second here, and I will type it in. So it's www.tradeoff.com, and that's where you need to go. I'm going to send that to everybody here on the chat box or the question box. So again, sign up is very easy. So once you click sign up here on the home page to open up a new account, you simply type in your information. So first name, last name, email address, username, and password. So this is all the information. This is really the minimal amount of information they need, and they really need this information so they can pay you out or begin the process if you win money. So it's a higher regulated site in some ways because they do actually have paid money competitions. And just as a side note, there's 8 states that are not allowed to compete for cash, but you can still go online and practice free events. So if you reach a sign, you try to get in a paid event where it says you're restricted, there's nothing tradeoff.com can do. It's just a matter of your state laws that prevent you from competing. So once you fill in these 5 fields, it takes you literally less than a minute. Click on Start Trading, and that's going to take you inside the site. Excuse me, and you want to go to the events page here, and this is where we're going to be operating tonight. So for our practice mode, you go to the events page. There's a number of other events listed, but you're going to want to look for the TradeThirsty event, and I'll show you that here in a minute. So make sure you click on the events page, and that's what this looks like right here. And then after that, you will go to and see the TradeThirsty event. So enter TradeThirsty practice session 1 is what you're going to want to do from the events page, and this is going to allow us to practice what we learned today. And especially what I've done is I've created 2 practice sessions tonight, taking the crazy markets we've seen over the last couple of days. So it's really cool to learn about a strategy here and actually have the ability to practice trading this on the crazy market environment that we basically have seen over the last couple of days. So it'll be a lot of fun. When you go to the events page, you're going to see the TradeThirsty practice event 1, and I'm going to put that up there when I see that we're ready to go, because it's a timed event and there's a countdown clock. So you want to click on the enter. Once you're in there, you can actually click enter. It's a free event. Everybody can go practice it. And then once you do that, there's going to be another dialog box that pops up, and you simply click on play, and it puts you in the charting environment, and I'll show you what to do next. Very, very easy process. And again, we're going through all of this so you can have the ability to practice in the crazy crash and rebound environment we've seen over the last couple of days. So I'm going to teach the strategy, and then you're going to see how it plays out. And I'm going to show you a couple of crazy instances where you want to be very careful trading it and how you handle those. Okay, so it's going to be at the end of the second practice session. We're going to take a look at the data, and I'm going to show you where to be careful and some kind of ideas on how to trade the system, if that makes sense. System is a very plain vanilla buy and sell signals, but as you get a feel for it, there's extra things you can do, like pyramiding or a delayed entry. If the entry signal is untimely, it's going to happen sometimes with really simple systems, and there's a way to improve your situation when that happens. So once you click on play, it's going to take you directly into the charting environment, and that's where you want to take your indicator. And this indicator that we're going to use tonight on their indicator list is called MA cross. Okay, moving average cross, and we're going to use the default values for that. So the way you handle that, way you access that is, excuse me, I apologize, I'm battling a little bit of allergies here. The way you handle this, though, is once you get inside of the charting environment, after you press play, it takes you straight in the charting environment. You want to go down here to this tray in your lower left-hand corner. I'm circling it right now. The second icon here is your indicators box here. So this will open up your indicator list, and you want to scroll down and click on MA cross. Once you do that, it's going to apply these two lines here, the crossover lines here you see on the screen, and then we'll take a look at that. So select MA cross, check the X button like you would close any window out, and then once you have that up, what you want to do is you want to click on one of the lines, either the fast red line or the slow green line, because I like to format mine. It's hard to see these lines in my mind, but what you can do is you can go ahead and click on these lines. Once you have the handles, these little handles you see on both of the lines, then you want to double click. So you click on it to grab it, if you will, identify it, double click to open up the format indicator dialog box. We're going to leave the default lengths of 9 bars for the short or the fast moving average and 26 bars for the slow. And what you want to do is you want to click on the style button. And what this does is once you click on that, this is going to allow you to thicken up your lines. So you want to move these two sliders to the right as far as you want. But you can see now the lines are a lot thicker, a lot easier to see. I'm a big fan of that, very visual. And that's what you want to do here. So we're going to talk tonight about how you use the strategy for trading signals and the strengths of the strategy and the weaknesses of the strategy as well. When it shines, what environment to best use that in. Once you get in the charting area, you're going to see a countdown clock. And that countdown clock is essentially giving you a countdown timer to when the event begins. It's called speed trading. And what it does is, again, it takes actual stock market data and it speed streams it across your screen so we can trade 2 weeks worth of data in 5 minutes. So it's a really cool technology. You can actually see how an indicator works. You can feel how it works. You can see where you run into problems. So it's really the missing link in my mind to the education world right now. And beyond that, it's a great, fun way to compete with other traders at these events that they have, the featured events that they have daily, and or the Top Trader Challenge on Saturday at 11 a.m. So this website is, and this is the plans for this website are massive. Just as a back note, they plan on the website is going to eventually, if all things go as planned, offer $1 million plus prize pools, which means that you can enter for like $10 to $20, and if you do well enough, you can actually qualify to win a lot of money on the competitions. But what we want today is not that. What we want to do today is use their technology to practice trading the strategy that we're learning about here. So let me go ahead and advance this. Let's talk about buy signals. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm sorry, let me go back to the previous screen here and just read this. The buy signal is really easy. You have two moving averages. You have a red fast moving average, right? And you have a slow moving average as well. So in fact, let me go ahead and, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to really, let's work on the first, let me do the first slow moving average here. I'm going to kind of do this right here. All right, and draw this out, and you can see how this is going to work over time. So the fast moving average is default as red. You can change the color, obviously, if you want to. What we want to do is when the fast moving average crosses below the first bar at the completion, you want to sell. So when the red crosses below the blue, that's a formal sell signal, and you'll see a blue cross appear. So it's like an X pattern, kind of like this. I'm going to draw one, a very basic one. It'll be blue on your screen. When that X pattern or plus pattern appears, that's when you want to take the signal, and it's on the completion of the price bar. Make sure that the X pattern or the plus pattern appears, because then that validates and makes it official that the cross has actually happened. So you can sell short here and profit when prices sell off. Now, if you're not used to the idea of selling short, I highly recommend learning it, because you're leaving a ton of money on the table. In fact, I'm currently a hedge fund manager. Our hedge fund today made the majority of our money by shorting markets. So we made a lot of money, like in copper. That might have been our big winner. We sold it, and copper got smashed today. We made a lot of money on the downside. So if you have not learned to sell short, make sure you learn how to do that. Now, that's the sell signal when the red line crosses below. We're talking here about the buy signal. So the buy signal is when the red line crosses back above the slower moving average, and this will be where we want to actually buy the market. But you want to have that blue cross or blue plus sign appear on your chart after it confirms that, because sometimes it'll be close, but it doesn't actually happen. You want a confirmation that the fast moving average has actually crossed above the slow moving average. As long as it continues, the fast moving average continues to stay above the blue, the slower or the slower moving average, then you continue to stay long the market. Now you can see right here the way I'm drawing, it comes really, really close, but it's not quite crossed it. So until it crosses it, then you're in. Now, there's two things we're looking at here. When you have trading strategies, you can do one of two things. You can either trade it directionally or you can trade it from both sides. Today, we're actually going to take all signals. This is called stop and reverse. It's not the recommended way of trading, but when you have very active markets, it's not a bad way to trade sometimes. Like, for example, after Brexit, you could have traded both ways and made some pretty good money, not only on the massive sell-off, but also on the rebound. In fact, after at my website, toptradetools.com, what we do is we have a Monday market session. So Monday markets, we talked about, markets got smashed. We all know that. And so what we did is we were talking about buying the market. So that night, I was starting to buy the stock market, and I was able to take about $10,000 out of it by 3 or 4 in the morning. So trading 2 contracts on the E-mini. I mean, that's how volatile that was. But those are the opportunities when we have very volatile markets. So let me answer some questions. Don, what are the moving average time? Or say, what are the moving averages, and what is the time frame? So the time frame of the charts, we're going to be trading off of our 15-minute price bars, and the look-back period, the default shorter of the fast-moving average, which is red, is 9 bars back. The slow is 26 bars back. Those are the default values. I didn't change those, but you certainly can. You can optimize those a little bit. But all we're doing tonight is just taking the default values, unless you want to change them, and using those. Excuse me. So Graham, you're saying what moving averages are being used? We're using simple moving averages. So a simple moving average is basically adding up for the 9-bar moving average. We're adding up the close values of the last 9 bars, and then whatever value that is, that's more reactive. The longer term one we're using tonight is a 26-bar moving average. And again, I'm not assigning any magical value to those numbers. That happens to be the default value of the MA cross indicator at tradeoff.com. Okay, so we're very clear here. When the red moving average line, which will appear in your graph with the slower, red's the fast moving average. I think it's blue is the slower. In fact, I should know that. Give me a second here. Let's back up. Just look at it real quick. Let's look at the, I'm sorry, it's green. So the slower moving average, we can go back to a chart here and just look at this. That is green right here. And in fact, we can go forward here because I'll have an example under the buy example here. So right here, I'm sorry, so I said blue before, it's actually green. So the slow moving average, which is 26. I'll just kind of label this. I'm going to use a different color. I'll use magenta here. This is a 26-bar moving average. The red moving average is a 9-bar moving average. This is a 15-minute bar chart. So each bar plots when every 15 minutes has gone by. And when you see the red go above the green like this and this blue X appear, or plus sign, that's confirming that we have a buy signal. And so what we're going to do tonight, when you see this happen, is we're going to press the up arrow or click on buy up here. And you can reposition this order entry tray up here. This gives you, everybody's got a $100,000 account value, and you can click on buy to buy 100 shares or whatever. You can buy several times if you want to. All I'm going to do tonight is just buy once, or I could actually buy more than that, but we're going to buy when that happens, and then once we get the opposite, right, cross down, we are going to exit and sell short. So this is called stop and reverse, and this is a way for us to make money if we have a big move on the upside, and then make money if we have a sell-off on the downside. So the way this works, again, is when you get the red line crossing above the green line, and this gives you confirmation with the blue X here, you want to click on buy. It's going to buy you 100 shares. Up here, you'll see how long or short you are. The green plus 100 is going to say you bought 100 shares of stock. When you get up here now, when we get the cross down under, the red line crosses down under the green line, you have the blue plus again as a confirmation. You want to close, click on the close button, and then click on sell. Now, there's a shortcut to these buttons. So if you want to click your up arrow on your keyboard, that's buy. That's buy 100 shares. Every time you click that, Sell is the down arrow that sells 100 shares, and your space bar is the equivalent of close. So closing means you're going flat, selling 100 shares, and buying is buying 100 shares. So this is the way the order entry goes here, and I'll answer questions here in just a second, guys. So again, what we're doing when we have a buy signal, we're going to click on buy or press the up arrow on your keyboard. When we have sell, I'm going to click on close or the space bar to get flat, and then very quickly thereafter, we're going to check the sell or click on the sell 100 or more if you want to sell more. Okay, when we go into practice mode here. All right, so again, we're going to trade this stop and reverse, but in actuality, what I like to do is I like to use high probability trade setups, formulate a direction or a forecast in the market, and then trade in that direction. So that's what I would typically do with my own trading. But there's a benefit here with the extreme volatility we're seeing in stocks at giving ourselves the opportunity to either buy and profit as prices move up or sell and profit as prices move down. No, spread betting is totally different. See, this is just like trading. So this environment you're going to be going into is virtually identical to what you're going to find at many online brokers. It's designed for, almost for professional traders, but extremely simple, extremely easy, and it's really a great testing ground for you to test different indicators. And I'll tell you what, even after being a 20-year hedge fund manager, I was really surprised. I'll tell you, I was really surprised when I started doing this, because you can think in your mind about how you want a strategy to work, and then you take it out there and you start using it, and it's different. It feels different, and it advances your understanding of the strategy and allows you to understand when it shines best, when to use it, what environments to look for, and then what environments you want to avoid. So it's really a great venue, if you will, to further your skills and develop them. Okay, can the green be changed? Yeah, so Jay, you can change the colors. That's not a problem. Let me just go back to that screen real quick. If you have any type of preference, or I know a lot of friends who have a color blindness, if you will, I'm going back to the format indicator box here. All you have to do is click on one of these boxes. For the short-term moving average is a default red. You can change that to whatever you want. The long-term 26 bar is green. You can click on that, and it's going to bring up a color palette. Change that. You can change the color of your crosses or your plus signs. Okay, so those, yeah, you can definitely change all that. It's kind of nice to do that. The way you do that, again, is you click once on one of the lines. Once you have the handles on the lines, you see the handles, then you want to double click, and that brings up this dialog box. The inputs are one tab, and the style is the other tab. My recommendation, again, for tonight, leave the inputs alone. Click on the style, and you can change your colors, change your lines, etc. Line thickness and whatnot. And you can even change your style, I think, like a dash line if you want to make the longer term one dashed, if that makes sense. Excuse me. So John's question is, do we need to sign in to trade off to do this? Yeah, it's totally free. So there's no cost to it. It's a great venue to practice your skills anyways. Let me type up or give you the domain again. Tradeoff.com is where you want to go, and I'm going to copy this up here in the questions box for everybody. Can the green be changed? Okay, got that. Okay, can you change the candles? Yeah. So Val, you can use candles as well if you want to do that. Look at my screen right here. It's going to be clicking the far left-hand icon over in the left-hand side. So that's where you're going to want to click that, and that gives you like candle bars, line on close, a normal open, high, low close, etc. So that you can do that as well. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you can actually double-click on the price bars and then format those. If you don't want red to be down, green to be up, you can change that as well. And that, change them both to black, and you can see the contrast of your moving average lines if you want to do that. Okay, so sell signals. What are we looking at here? Just the opposite of buy signals. Let me make sure I've answered all the questions here. Okay, so let's see here. Jody says, signed up to TradeOff.com, deposited $20, but still cannot click on Events tab. You know what you want to do is click the lower left-hand or lower right-hand corner. You should have a green icon there for customer service. I don't know if they'll be around tonight. They're usually around during working hours, Eastern Standard, but leave them a question, Jody, and they can get back with you. But they'll get you all fixed up. Yeah, so no problem at all. Okay, when I log into TradeOff.com, I end up with a blank screen. That's weird. Sometimes the browser version that you have may have a conflict, but it's easy to correct most of the time. You can refresh, click the refresh sign, or simply log out, log back in, and that usually corrects it. I recommend using Chrome if you can, or Firefox. those are the ones that tend to work best. This is pretty high-tech stuff. I mean, streaming on your browser. So it's pretty high-tech stuff, and Chrome and Firefox are the way to go. If yeah, okay, yeah, don't let them use Internet Explorer. That's Michael. So Michael's here. Thanks, Michael. Michael's here for customer service. So Jody, in the lower right-hand corner, you see a green circle like with a chat box. You can ask Michael if he can give you a hand, and then our tech guys will be coming online here not too long. But we'll get you fixed up there. Not a problem. Okay, let me just move on here, and let's get to the guts of it. So let me go back to the sell signal here. The sell signal is when the red line crosses below the green line. That's my 9-day fast-moving average crossing below my longer-term 26-bar green moving average. And again, once that's confirmed, I see that blue plus sign. That tells me that the sell signal has been confirmed, and then I stay short. You'll notice that the red line in this case kind of falls down. It's a little hard to see because the color's right here, but let me see if I can get a different color here. You sell off, and then you rally up here. You can see how close the red line right here gets to crossing above the green line, but it doesn't do that. So that's the thing. You have to get that confirmation with the plus sign there to know that you had an official crossover. Now, again, when the sell signal, I'm selling short, and right up here you can see my shares. They say minus 100, and now then I know I'm short. I know I'm going to be able to profit if a market falls and goes my direction. And then once I get the opposite buy signal to exit, I want to exit out of my short by either clicking the buy or clicking my up arrow on my keyboard. I'm sorry, first thing I want to do is close. Close out of your short by clicking the close button or pressing your space bar. Once you're flat, then you buy. And you want to do this quickly because the markets are moving, right? Especially in speed trading. So boom, space bar, boom, up arrow, or click close, click buy. And it's that. And then look up and make sure you're long the market. So that's what you're going to want to do. Okay, we are ready to roll to trade off. Let me get that up here. Just give me a second here. I'm going to take you to tradeoff.com. So give yourself a minute. Go to tradeoff.com. Let's practice this. This is probably some of the most advanced trading technology for education and for speed trading competitions. It's an absolute blast that's out there in the market. So you want to, be aware. You want to put trade-off on your, really in your toolbox and your entertainment. It's a lot of fun. When markets are slow, you can go online, lunch hour. I worked in the on the floor of the exchange, and lunch hour got slow. What do? You could we used to just go out and grab some lunch, but you can actually grab some lunch and speed trade with the competitions they have, and it's a lot of fun. To me, when I play golf, and I'm not a very good golfer, it's always a lot more fun when I have $10 riding on the game or something. That way, if you win, it just seems to feel better. So, and I'm not advocating gambling at all. This is a pure skill game. The better you become, the higher your chances of doing well. Now, so sign up screen up in the upper right-hand corner. Let me just circle this. Once you get the home page, you want to click on sign up, and that's going to have those 5 fields. I go there right now that you want to click on, right? So. And I'll blank these out for, let's see, you to, look at them. So first name, last name, say first name, let me change my color to magenta, last name, email address, username, and password. This is all confidential information, by the way, but they need to know this because if you win a speed trading competition in the Top Trader Challenge on Saturday, they just need to have the right information here. If you don't input the right information, then it creates problems. So you want to make sure you get paid out. Just do that right. It's totally confidential. If you never do a paid event, then it's just in the database and it's really never used. Your email address, your username, and your password. Now, your email address is going to be what you use to sign in. So make sure it's a valid email address. They're going to need to confirm it, but type in your email address. You'll get the confirmation email, and then you're going to type in your username. Your username is your screen name. So like Trader Mark or whatever you want to make, Forex Mark or whatever, Gold Mark, whatever you want to do. So as long as it isn't taken, that's the cool thing about it. You guys are among the first users worldwide. The trade-off is rolling out to Canada, Australia, and China pretty soon. So these names will be taken up. So select your favorite username, which will be your screen name, and the password. You can use capital, lowercase, numbers, and I think possibly characters as well. So you want your password, I think, to be around 8 characters, but it'll tell you if you guess wrong. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go back and log in since I'm already a member. So I'm logging in, and I am going to go to the events page. And as soon as you log in, you kind of default at the events page. All right, so this takes you to the events page. Now, I'm going to answer some questions, give you guys a few minutes to get on there, and then, yeah, I'm trading options. Yeah, I love trading options, Brace. So I was trading options today, some of the VIX contracts. Okay, stuck to sign up, please wait. We're going to wait. I'm going to wait until a lot of you get on here. It takes a minute or two. Okay, it won't put your MA cross on charts. Let me go there right now, Roger. So let me go ahead and start the event, and then we'll go with that. So give me a second here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this out of the way quickly because I've got to get to it. I've got to access an admin screen, and then I'm going to pop right back on. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to have the event start in about 10 minutes here, giving you guys plenty of time here. So let me go ahead, go to the admin screen, and I'm going to give me a second here. I'm going to populate up the TradeThirsty Practice 1. So I've got to instruct the platform to create that event. So and we're going to do that here in about 10 minutes. So that's going to be 40 minutes after the hour here, giving you plenty of time to get on. We'll answer questions. And in the lower right-hand corner, don't forget, you've got chat. So Michael's available with Trade-Off to answer questions on that. So I'm going to go ahead, create this event, and then now it should appear under events. So let me go up there, going back up here, pull up this event. And now you see speed trading down here. Actually, let me scroll down. You see, if you scroll down here a second from the bottom, you see the free event TradeThirsty Practice 1. And what you want to do is you want to click on Enter. So give yourself time. It looks like a number of people are already trading a free event or speed trading practice session. And you want to click on Enter. And what usually happens, like the Top Trader Challenge, most traders show up about an hour or 30 minutes before, and there's a couple practice sessions that are paid events too. That's 11 a.m. Eastern time. It's 9 a.m. my time because I'm Mountain time. But then you've got a flood of people coming in to enter in this event. So it shows 0 entries. It'll be a heck of a lot higher than that Saturday. So traders, they're strange creatures of habit. I'm kind of the same way myself. We just tend to come right at the last minute and sign up. So if you want to register for that, it's a $5 entry fee. And you can win a couple $100. But the big one on the 24th of this month that'll be populated here in the next couple of days is the Mega Challenge, a $5,000 payout. And that's only going up over time as well. So that'll be fun to watch. So that's my, obviously, if Trade-Off does everything they want to. So now, we now have a 7-minute and 54-second starting time here. A lot of people have gotten on. We've got 15 entries. So take a minute, sign up. This is great technology to practice what we're learning. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Enter myself, and then I'm going to click on Play. And this is going to take me into the practice session. Okay, so you should, yeah, everybody should see that screen there. So I'm clicking Play. Once you click on Play, it takes you to the charting area. Now, I've got a couple indicators that default for me. I'm going to remove those. So I've got Bollinger Bands here. I use sometimes when I compute on the site. And then I also have MACD, which I use to read momentum. All we're going to focus on right now is we're going to focus on adding the indicator MA cross. So right here, lower left-hand corner, I'm drawing a bunch of arrows here. Second icon from the left is my indicator dialog box. So if I click on that, it's going to open up my indicators. I can slide it out of the way of the countdown timer, and I can scroll down. I'm scrolling down to MA cross. You guys see that here? So I'm going to go ahead and freeze my screen. MA cross is what we want. Right? That's our strategy we're going to be playing around with here and practicing with. So MA cross, I'm going to click on that. It adds that to my chart, and then I'm going to click on the X here in the upper right-hand corner, and that closes down my indicator dialog box, right? Now, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to click on one of the lines. You see the handles that now appear? So I've got these little handles. Once I've done that, and now the platform acknowledges that I've clicked on the indicator, and then I double-click right after that. And that opens up this dialog box that allows me to format the indicator. I'm going to leave my lengths. My short or fast-moving average is 9 bars back. My slow-moving average is 26. I'm going to leave that alone. So I'm going straight over to Style. So click on Style right here. And that opens up the window that allows me to make my moving average thicker. So you can see right here, if you look at my window, my red line is pretty thin and my green line is pretty thin. I want to make this a lot thicker. So I'm going to scroll this to the right. See how much thicker my red line is right now? The red line is much thicker than the green line, but I'm going to make both of those thicker by sliding this slider to the right. Okay, and then the crosses, and I can even slide it as far as I can to the right, make them really, really thick. Okay, you change the style as well. So if you want line with breaks, you don't want the other stuff. You don't want a histogram, bar area, or any of that stuff. You want either a line or line with breaks. I'm going to leave mine both as a line. Okay, I'm going to press OK, and then it locks it in there. I now have my 2 moving averages. As a quick review, don't forget, when the red one crosses below the green one, that's a sell signal. I'm clicking on the sell button up here or pressing the down arrow on my keyboard. All right. When it goes back the opposite direction here, I'm gonna press the space bar or click on the close button up here, and then I'm gonna click on the buy button. You can buy more than once if you want to, or you can just do it once if you want to just buy shares to kind of get a feel for the strategy. I might just do it once. Now, if we look at the chart right now, look at where we're at. So we're in the midst of a buy signal. The red line is crossed above the green line. I'm probably going to just sit this one out. Or if I get a nice correction, look how far up prices are above the red line and the green line. So you can do one of two things. You can wait for prices to correct down and touch the red line, or touch the green line to get into a signal that's kind of in process, a signal that fired off a couple bars ago. That's what I do. I would not chase the market, right? Don't chase if it's way above the moving averages, because your risk is extremely elevated and your profit potential is dramatically reduced. So I'm a big believer in buying during consolidation or corrections. But a correction, if the prices come back down to the red or the green line, you could choose that to get into that signal since we missed the buy signal here, right? Okay, let me answer some questions here. I'm going to open up the question box here, but everybody get in here if you can. Okay, do we only look at one chart? Yes, this is one chart. This is one time period. All we're doing is testing this moving average profitable strategy. 15-minute chart, and I'll disclose the market. No, I won't disclose the market because I don't want you guys to cheat, and I know most of you won't, but I don't want anybody to cheat here. So I'm not going to tell you what this is. Some of you might recognize it, but this is the last couple of trading days of a certain undisclosed market. We don't even care what it is. It's a stock and stock market related instrument, but this is a time-tested strategy that can be effective, the moving average strategy, and is extremely simple. What you want is you want to have directional volatility. If you don't, right, if you don't have directional volatility, then you are you're probably vulnerable to getting whipsawed, right? And you don't want to do that. That's a losing proposition. This strategy does not do well in consolidation sideways markets, so don't even think about trading it there. You want wild markets that are really moving, like we've seen over the last really couple of months, even in stocks. That's where it really shows. Again, what I like to do is I like to apply this to a situation where you have a well-defined setup here. So now we have the 2-minute countdown clock in the middle. So 2 minutes and 16 seconds. If you're still trying to get signed on, then by all means. But if you want to participate in one of the paid events, it's really easy to add funds. All right. So you can click on the Add Funds button up here in the upper right-hand corner. I'll circle that. So big arrow up there, and it's easy. It just click on that, and then it allows me to click an amount. So say $20, and then I press Pay, and then it's going to load a merchant services option. Do I want to use Visa, MasterCard, American Express? You type in your name as the card holder. So I'll just put name here, common sense stuff here, and then really simple way to add money, your card number, and I'll give your card a 3-digit code most of the time, and that's how easy it is. And that's I'm just telling you how to navigate the site. If you want to look at history after you compete in this event, we're about to start, but you can click on the history tab up here. You can click on other tabs as well. You've got chat. So there's a chat window I can open up and say, hey, everybody. Hey, everyone. Let's see if I can spell correctly here. And then I type that in there, and that goes up. So I love close games like these. You're going to love this bird up, and it's going to be exciting as they start getting the pulls up. Proactive seller, very close. Good. Okay, congrats. I know. Okay, this is from the recent event here. A lot of people online. And when you want, obviously, when the event starts, I want to get rid of this. And if you want to turn up your sound, it's kind of fun. They've actually added a trading floor sound. So I'm going to turn up my sound. You can actually hear this through my mic, but you can actually hear traders. Actually, I'm going to turn it down because you guys that'll muffle the noise. But you can hear the opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange. Once the event's about to start, the countdown clock is turning yellow. Let me show you one more cool thing. At the very top, there's a progress bar that goes underneath the, this is a leaderboard at the top. So whoever's making the most money, Honey Badger's in first right now, but as time goes on, whoever's making the most money off the strategy. We're not really doing that right now, but that's what we'll do. So now we're starting, okay? So everybody watch what happens with the moving average here. And I'm going to review this once we're done. So prices are above the moving average right now. It's coming back down. If it touches the green, I'm going to buy. So it came close enough. I went ahead and bought it. It's an in-process signal, so it's a little bit risky to do that. So, but I got in late. So now it looks like the red moving average fast is coming back down. May cross below. It does. So I got flat and sold. So I clicked my space bar and I sold this market, right? And now I'm short 100 shares. You can see that in my shares up in the upper trading tray, signal tray right here. So now short until I get a, okay, now it looks like I might cross back above. Okay, not quite, not quite. It's not about, don't do it unless you get that plus sign, a blue plus. We're still short, right? Okay, still short 100 shares here. I should have sold more. But now we're starting to see a sell-off, and the red fast-moving average is way below the long-term green moving average. So I'm going to go ahead and take the handles off there. I'm not looking to do any edits right now. So prices really sold off. They fell off pretty dramatically here. The red fast-moving average is pretty far below the green. So I'm short right now. I continue to be short, and I'm just going to watch. Now, this is how easy it is. As long as your fast-moving average is way below your longer-term green moving average, you stay short. And when prices fall, if you're not used to the idea of short selling, you're making money on the downside, and you're hoping to buy back at a much lower price. So when prices are rallying back, but our shorter-term fast-moving average is still way below. So we maintain our short position here until the red moving average is confirmed to have crossed above the green. It might do it here. So I'm watching really closely, and not yet really close. You want to really pay attention when the lines get close together. They're starting to separate again a little bit, but still pretty close. And this is a consolidation period. So the moving average crossover system does a really nice job here of keeping us from getting whipsawed. So we keep our short position. Prices continue to fall off here, as we saw. We saw a sell-off, obviously, over the past couple of days, but we're short, and this is a great, again, it is the discipline of staying short as long as the trend is with us. And in this case, we're looking at an intraday trend. So the trend is our friend here, all right? So stay short, stay short. As long as you're short, you stay short. Red fast-moving average approached the green, but still way below it. And so notice again up here at the top, you have your progress bar. That's that blue line underneath the leaderboard. It's showing us how much time we have left in the practice session. Okay, so now we've got prices rebounding pretty aggressively. Rallying up here. Maybe we'll get a crossover up here. Looks like we probably will. Okay, very close. Space bar buy. So I just bought. Actually, I bought 2 times. So I'm going to sell one of those. I meant to buy only 100 shares, about 200 shares by accident. So now the red line is above the green. We should be long the market. If you look up here, I've got 100 shares plus 100. And I want to profit now if we get a follow through to the upside. So now prices continue to go higher, but we'll see if they stay there. So starting to sell off, show a little weakness here as the red average starts to move down closer to the longer term green average. And okay, now watch for a sell signal here. We went flat by clicking. I'm going to click on close here and then sell. Okay, close sell. Okay, so I did that a little slowly. Now I'm short because we got the confirmation, right? So I'm going to add on an extra share, 100 shares as it went up to my red line again, and see if we get a sell-off. Now prices are selling off here a little bit. Our red line is solidly below the green line here, and according to the rules of the strategy, we stay short. We stay short the market unless the red line crosses back above the green line. And the really powerful thing about the strategy is when you see these prolonged directional price moves that we've seen over the past couple of days, it really can be a very effective tool in staying in those. And you can see right now the money's being made on the downside. So we're short the market, and looks like I'm not even first. Some other people have bought it and sold it higher than me, but we're now making some money to the downside. My account's now up to $100,700 of profit, and I'm making most of my money here from the downside. So I keep on staying short as long as my red line is, again, below my green line. I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but that's how it works. Even if the prices come up and touch my green line, I don't care. My longer-term moving average, until the shorter term crosses above, I'm not interested in getting out. So I've got my hand on my space bar. If I get a crossover here, and I didn't get very close, but no cigar, did not get it. And by the way, you can use a mouse wheel to zoom in. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. So continue, the sell-off continues here. The shorter term average, again, we haven't optimized this. This is just the standard settings for the platform, but the 926 is getting the job done. It didn't whipsaw me at that correction. Prices are getting crushed. We all saw that happen, right? Last couple of days, and now we've sold off. The red moving average has really followed prices down fairly aggressively and remains below the green line, so we remain short. All right, now prices are rebounding. Inevitably, it's going to happen at some point. Okay, they're selling off again, but again, a lot of noise here. We're not buying and selling and buying and selling. We're staying short because, again, our red line continues to be well below our green line here. Okay, so stay short. You can see how this works. It's funny, the background noise. You can hear the traders on the floor. Okay, we're getting closer here, but I'm not messing with that. So I got my finger on my space bar to get me flat. Okay, not yet. Okay, now I went flat and I bought. Okay, even though prices are below the moving averages, my red line is above my green line. That's a buy signal. So now prices are really rebounding, and now I'm starting to make money on the upside. So getting close here to the end of the competition, and looks like we're about over here. So, okay, so results, nicely done. Let's say Shant Valdez, nice. Ron to trade, nicely done. A Snake Man and Berserker, you guys all are ranked higher than me, so nicely done. Let's look at our moving averages here. So whoever the low equity curve is, you're obviously not following the system there, right? You should have made money there, right? Because the signals we saw, if you're going long and short, when the crossover happens, that's when you're supposed to buy and sell. So most people, it look like, kind of followed this up here. You see the similarity now between me and the first place trader. Our curves are kind of mirroring each other. He just made more money, or she made more money by trading heavier. So we started to close in on the distance here. And on this strategy, with this particular market, I was able to make 102,659 was the value of my account. So that's $2,650 of profit, primarily trading 100 lots. I traded 200 lots with one of those trade examples. So you guys get the idea. Now, here's the cool thing. I can click on the History tab. So I'm going to go up top here. The History tab now gives me access to historical events. Click on that, and I can see two things. It's really cool. I can see a snapshot of the charts, and we're going to review that briefly here, and the stats here as well. So I'm going to click on the snapshot, and I can go back and just going to populate my chart and see where I traded a win. So right here, again, I was short, selling right here because we had the fast line move below the slow line, and then right here I was a buyer. We kind of got whipsawed there, so that was probably not, maybe a small loss there, but we bought right there. We exited the short position. We were short all the way down here. Once we had the confirmed crossover of the red line crossing back above the green line, we dumped our short position and initiated a long position. That's why you see two blue arrows here. So these two blue arrows are saying I'm exiting my short and I'm going long. Actually, I've been three, so I think I accidentally bought too much. But right here, I got out of my extra 100 shares, and then it goes back short again. So the red line goes below the green line, and I get this blue cross as my confirmation. Once it's done, then or confirmed, then I can take my trade. Now, here's where it gets tricky up here. I'll draw your attention to this. So up here, look what happened. We went short. We shorted the market, right? But the red line came super duper close to crossing above the green line. If I had done that, that would have been a buy signal. It didn't. So we stayed short. And this is the thing. You got to see that blue cross sign to get the confirmation. Okay? So that's, make sure you do that. Now, let's go over and strategy. We've got practice session 2. Let me go ahead and get that fired up here. I'll do that for 55 after the hour here, and to give ourselves to practice one more time. So give me a second here. I'm going to do some creation of this event on the side. Excuse me, clone this. Okay, give me a second here. And then the start time, again, I'm going to make 55 minutes after the hour if you have not signed up yet. Make sure you do that. So there's a lot more people on the webinar who have entered and are practicing now. So kudos to you. And then especially don't forget the Top Trader Challenge on Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So we now have the next one set up. Let me move the screen back up here. So everybody go back over to the events page. Click on the events at the very top. So let me go back up here. Your top menu, you have an events tab. Click on that events link, and that's going to take you back to the main events page where all these different competitions are featured. And then all the way at the bottom, you see TradeThirsty Practice 2, and that's what we want. So right now it looks like people are already joining it. Press the enter button, starts in 5 minutes. So be sure to join it. And then, yeah, so we've got 10 entries. Yeah, you all are going in that direction right now. So I'm going to click enter, and then I'm going to click play here. So let me go ahead. Once you do that, now let's say I press OK here. Here's what happens. See how I'm back over at the events page, and now I have this enter button turned into a blue play button. It's pretty cool stuff. And by the way, they're going to have some really neat friends promotions here. So I can invite friends. I can take the link of an event, a specific event I want to invite friends to, and then copy that link into a group area, maybe a group a traders group you have. Invite all your friends, and then if they get back to this link with future promotions that are happening at TradeOff, you get credit, like you get money in your account by the company. So it's a great way to get the company to pay for your entry fees and bring your friends online too, which is a total blast. All right, so I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to click on the play button here to the right-hand side. One last thing I'll show you before I do that. You can actually click on the event over here if you want to find more information. So I'm going over here and seeing all the people who have signed up and seeing Berserkers or Ringer. I'm going to keep an eye on that person. And Ron to Trade, and all of you guys, looks like a lot of people did well last round. So keep an eye on that. This gives you the starts in 3 minutes. Entries free, kind of gives you the details of the event. The other thing you can do, by the way, in the upper right-hand corner, just setting your count up, you have your picture and a down arrow. So you probably want to click on My Account here. Well, two things you can do. There's a tutorial here if you want more information on the platform, but I can click on My Account, and I can then click on, let's see, my picture here. So if you want to add a different picture, I can, click on this, and it allows me to do that if I'm in the right area. Let me make sure I am. I'm sorry, go to settings for that. So if I go to settings, I can now click on my picture, and then that gives me the ability to upload, upload a window or upload a picture of myself. So anyways, going back to the events page, let me get over and set my screen up. Going back down, pressing play, since we've got 2 minutes, 19 people have signed up. By the way, this there's another collapsible window on the right-hand side here. Let me just show you. That's another way to view the leaderboard. You can just chat over here as well, although I don't recommend it. I recommend using the chat up here at the top. So say a nice job to the last winner. Forgot who that was, but I'll say it anyways. I can close this down. Honey Badger's up there talking as well. Excuse me. Jimmy Crypto, way fun. It's absolutely, Jimmy, wait until you have money on the line, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's even more fun in my mind. So this leaderboard on the right-hand side, I can collapse that because we have a leaderboard on the top as well. But yeah, just one thing to note there. And then you can also turn off your sound. If you don't want to hear the opening bell, or if you don't want to hear the traders in the background, you can click on this sound icon that's up here at the top. Now, I've got to get my chart set up here, and I'm going to delete out Bollinger Bands. Just click on the line. When I see the handles, I can click on my delete button on my keyboard. Down here, click on MACD line. I see the handles, and then I simply click the delete. Going back over here, don't forget to add your MA cross, second icon from the end. Click on that, bring up the indicators box here. I scroll down. I'm scrolling down my mouse wheel here. Clicking on MA cross, closing the indicators box window, and then I click it once. And I'm going to do one more thing here. I'm going to so I can use to change my up color to down and then I double click moves long and really so you'll see the contrast here is a little bit easier versus colored bars, right? So this is another unknown stock. And this is going to be good because this is doing a lot of that life, but it's which to do with the strategy when that does happen. So right now, it's long. I'm going to wait until it comes, which is not too far away. Way like this, I'm going there. Here or selling here, your system fires off. You want to try to improve upon that. If you can. All right, this is $7 and that's why. All right, so I'm going to so my position, the fast and short as long as I have that. So right, I'm still short. My cross. Okay, now I'm long. So I got my confirmation. Now, this was above my moving average lines by quite a bit, but sometimes it happens right here. But you could have waited, for the correction under the red or in between the red and the green lines. You're going to get a better fill. But the danger of that is that you may have a market that gets away from you, really starts to take the upside, and if you're waiting for a better fill, then you could risk missing out on a really that move. Now, a lot of action here, but my red line is still above my green. As long as it stays there, continues on. Upside. What happens here? Stay long. Red is really starting to separate from my green line, which makes prices go higher. I'm long 100 shares. With this price stock, you have $100,000. So 100 shares of a $700 stock will be $70,000. Prices are trending upward as long as our slow moving average remains above our slow moving average. We stay long. The red continues to stay above. We remain long. So this is the nice move right here. So now you can see prices are starting to accelerate to the and we'll really stay long here. We'll do nothing. This is how simple a strategy is when you're getting a very strong directional price move in a market. Really seeing a nice rally here. Continues to go higher. And so far, LPILSON is in first place. Nicely done. $2,000. Wonder how you did that. So I've only got $591 in profits so far. Maybe you didn't take the short. Difference. Okay, so continue to go higher. How easy is this, right? We bought it, crossover happened, and now we just stay with it. But you've got to be careful to be ready to reverse your position and short it if you get that cross downward. Looks like we're about to get, so almost there. Okay, so now we just got that. So we got official confirmation. The blue X is plotted. Now I'm short. Okay, I'm short. Yeah, I was not short fast enough. So I got a bad fill price there. Continue to, short your fast red moving average is staying below the slower green moving average. It's that simple. I think you get conceptually what's happening. Again, if you're new to trading and you're not used to the idea of selling short, you want to read up on that. You want to study up on that, become proficient, because that's the way to make more money longer term. Really, the amount of profits you can get in markets, because obviously big money this week was on the short side, although bound the back has been pretty good as well. I can see that this stock, wow, there's really pressure here, and we were short. The moving average system got a short. Extreme volatility. Look at this craziness here. So, yep, we stay short. Now, in actuality, once a market becomes so overdone on that, you could take profits and run. But for the purpose of this exercise, I would say I'm going to say that even though I'm not tempted to take profit, look for divergence or something, because that's such a big down move. We're really due and overdue for a point. The danger of doing that, though, is if it continues to go down and you have almost a flash crash scenario, you could leave a lot of money on the table during certain points in time. But it continues to trend downward, so we continue to do well here, holding on to that short position. And this is a real stock, by the way. Absolutely real stock. I'll tell you what it is after we're done. Just try to keep you guys from cheating. I want you to go through the exercise of the discipline of following these signals here. So now our red moving average is getting closer to the green, and I've got to be ready to react here if it crosses and confirms. Okay, which is long 100 shares. Got the confirmation. Improved upon my goal, but I did it when the signal happened, and now it looks like we're stabilizing a little bit. Maybe we can stall, ready to head higher here. And again, have a red moving average, a fast moving average. It's pretty good ways above the green still. So I'm still in pretty good shape. I'm just sitting back doing nothing until we get that crossover confirmation of going back below the green. So now I've got my thumb on the trigger here. Okay, not yet. Okay, so this is, that's the danger. We're going to talk about that next. You don't want yourself where you're selling at the bottom of that big bar. And by the way, that's a real price bar. So yeah, that's fun. So okay, right now still short. All right, still short. Looks like it could come here in any second. That I'm ready and get into long position. Okay, I jumped the gun here a little bit, but yeah, we finally got the confirmation, and now we're long. The fast moving average is still above the slow, the green, and is separating right now, even though prices haven't gone up that much. But hopefully we're going to follow through here to the upside and really a few more profits here if we can get higher trading here. So it looks like it's etching up a little bit. And yeah. Okay, so yep, looks like we're about done with the trading session. All right. So, okay, Future Scott, you killed us, man. What did you do? You were up $104,000, nice $4,000 of profit. My profit in this exercise was $753 using this. This is a real stock. And again, somebody was not following the rules or way down here, lost money. Let's talk about, let me go back to the history. Don't forget right there. I'll go back and look at the snapshot. So this is the event TradeThirsty 2. I'm going to click on the snapshot so we can review the chart. This is, stuff you've got to be wary of because it's real life trading. See what happens on price bar? This is when things get nuts on the market. And the downside is look at where our trade are at where I actually had confirmation to sell. So this is one of the dangers of this strategy. This is a strategy that does not have a stop loss. It's a free floating strategy, and we're long right here, right? Previous to that, long 100 shares. But then you can see prices get crushed. But according to the rules, we can't get in until the close of this price bar. That's a major weakness in the strategy. Now, most of the time, it's not a problem, but you better be aware when you get into a situation when a market's vulnerable to do something crazy. Like for grain markets, that could be right before a stock report. For stocks, flash crash, a nervous market. Be wary of that. Now, one thing you can do to address that, there's actually two things you can do. You can consider using tick charts, okay? Now, the benefit of tick charts is that when you have a massive down bar like this in the time chart, you're in. I mean, according to the rules, you stay long until you finally get the close of that bar. With a tick chart, you actually would have this one big down bar here would actually break out into a bunch of smaller bars, and chances are you would be getting short on a much higher tick chart bar. Now, on a side note, you better be careful. Better make sure that your broker streams your tick charts with low latency during extreme events. And I can tell you this, I've seen some nightmare situations where the tick charts really start to bog down during a fast market event. I'm not sure there's a lot they can do about it. Some platforms are really bad. I've seen people, even with the time charts, if you see your platform start to bog down during a heavy trading emergency type events, you better be careful because that's going to cost you money and you're getting your data late. You can't afford to do that. So what I've noticed with TradeStation, that's a platform that I use mostly, is that they're pretty good. The time charts seem to be very low latency. The tick charts at times are not. So, and I'm not sure, it's just a fact of life with them. Now, I've even seen worse platforms. Thinkorswim might have improved upon this, but a couple of years ago, I was in a live trading room and literally had some people with Thinkorswim whose prices didn't even match up with my TradeStation prices because they were lagging so bad. Now, that could have been, as a side note, that might have been their home internet. I just have no idea. But what I am saying to you, because I think Thinkorswim is a very good company, what I am saying to you, though, is be sure you understand that about your broker and keep an eye on that. So one way to combat this is tick charts, but you want to make sure the tick charts are not so short-term that you're getting chopped up during normal market corrections. All right. The other thing you can do is in this particular case, if you follow the rules, you're looking at a lot of pain right here. As you're literally in this stock, you're looking at a low of right around 634, and the closing value is right around 674. So that's $40 contract, right, or a share. That's a lot. If you have 100 shares on, that's a lot of money right there. If you have 1,000 or more, you're talking about that's painful. So there are ways you can combat that, maybe using stop loss technology. The only problem with stop loss formulas, algos, is that it does tend to alter your expected profit or loss with a strategy. So you want to be careful about that as well. But just be aware, when crazy things are happening, you may not want to use the moving average crossover strategy applied to a time chart. All right, and that doesn't happen very often. So be aware of that. You may want to use a different, like a breakout strategy would probably be better, probably be more effective. And at some point in time, I'm going to do another webinar on breakouts. It's a very simple strategy as well. And it has its pros and cons, but today you learned about the moving average crossover. Let me start to get a few questions here, and then we will call it a day. So give me a second here. I will pull up the questions box and hit a few of your questions. Okay, TradeStation, yeah, so this platform is actually, well, this is a plug-in to Trade-Off. So this is not TradeStation right here. This is a software plug-in that they use, a charting platform. This is Trade-Off's really designed. This whole window is, the chart is another company called TradingView. They supply the actual chart and indicators. So we can only set this up when we, okay, so we can only play when this is set up. No, Z, you can play anytime you want. So let me just bounce back over to events. If I wanted to practice any 24 hours a day, Trade-Off offers free events. So you can see the next free event right here. So it starts in 3 minutes. And it's up here at the top. See right here in the events area? So next free event, no payout, no entry fee, starts in 3 minutes, and I can just click enter and practice there if I want to, right? I'm not going to do it, but you can do that. So yeah, they're going on nonstop. It's a good way to do it. I like the paid events. I'm partial to those, but the free events are definitely nice. Looks like we got a couple of people joining the Wolf of Wall Street tonight. Maybe that's tomorrow night. Yeah, I think it's tomorrow night. So they're registering early. But yeah, so around lunchtime, don't forget, you've got the featured lunch hour frenzy, and so a bunch of people show up right beforehand. Top Trader Challenge is the big deal. That's every Saturday. And don't forget the Mega Challenge on the 24th, $5,000 payout. It's a lot of fun. So check it out. I think you'll have a ball. Going back to history, I think we covered the key points here. The other thing I'd tell you is you can actually apply your favorite indicators, like if I wanted the moving average cross here, and then I can click on this button right here and save that profile, if you will. If I have a couple of indicators that I consider my favorite, I can just go down and save that. Like it says new profile or save chart profile, click on that, and I can call this MA cross. So I'll click on new profile. New profile there, and then the customized profile is MA cross. So save that. I'm not going to use that as my default, but now I can, anytime I want to add that, I can go to my profiles, and I've got one right here, which is the Bollinger Bands and the MACD. Automatically populates. I can go back down here, click on MA cross, automatically populates. Makes it look really nice. Just changes it out very quickly. Okay, do you use a strategy in current trading? Michael, you can, and you can use it. It can be quite effective, but I tend to use other more advanced strategies as being I was a senior strategy developer for hedge funds. So as you can imagine, I use more different strategies that are a little bit more advanced than this. But I will say this about the moving average cross. It's a time-tested strategy that is extremely simple and can be highly effective. So that's why we're talking about it, right? So would I use it? Yeah, I mean, certainly I think it can be effective, but I have some more powerful strategies that I've actually developed I'll close this out myself, and I tend to use those, but they're more complicated. That's the give and take of it. Are you planning on doing a demo to demo other strategies? Yeah, Steve. So we'll have future events here, and Jeanette was kind enough to let me present to you guys tonight. Thanks everybody for showing up, and we were able to test out this strategy. But yeah, if you guys like that, can you give me some feedback? Do you guys like the learn and practice, combination here? If you do, then let's do more of these things. Wasn't playing, just watching. Thanks. Yeah, Joe, you ought to try getting on there. I mean, really, you ought to try going through it. You'd be surprised. I mean, you walk away with that experience, and it gives you insight on, what you do with certain markets. So it's a really good exercise to go through. So if you're a serious trader or serious about becoming a professional trader, I recommend the practice strategies and getting in the free, the free sessions. Yes, it was great to watch. We'll get it next time, SP. Looking forward to it. Definitely do that. And you don't have to do it with us right now. Sign up for TradeOff anytime you want, and then just try one of their practice sessions as well. And they're actually TradeOff is creating a very cool onboarding sequence. We're working on that to where it teaches you A to intermediate level, beginning to intermediate level about charts, and it'll be really cool as well. How do you benefit teaching different strategies? I benefit from sending you to TradeOff because I'm a part owner of TradeOff, and so that's pretty much it. But it's deeper than that for me. It's my background as a professional trader for many years. The people behind TradeOff are professional traders. So these are tools that we've wanted for a long time, and they have massive education applications. So for us, to me, it's exciting to have that practice ability, but equally as exciting, we enjoy the competition side of it as well. Now, as an owner of TradeOff, I can't compete. There's a conflict of interest there, but I can at least show you the practice. If nothing else, you guys can come along here, practice different indicators, and benefit from that. So that's how I benefit, if that makes sense. Does it still play if there's no other traders? Yeah, free trade will. Hey, Mark, thanks for sharing. What are your buying in the markets, or just watch and see? This webinar is recorded. Thanks. Ahmed, let's see. The markets right now that look interesting to me is, I'm trying to think what looks most exciting. I think the currencies we were bullish on, but now they're obviously correcting. Longer term, look for a weekly correction in the currencies and then to continue to the upside. Stock market, I don't think the stock market is over. I think the stock market actually probably had a healthy correction. I don't know if it's a raging bull from here, but don't be surprised if it stabilizes and heads higher. Lulu is an interesting stock on the upside that really held strong in there during the sell-off, and that might have some nice upside as well. Let's see here. Can you say what moving averages you use? Oh, yeah. So SP, all we used for this event was the default, and that's a 9 and 26. Okay, so that's just the default, nothing fancy there, and we didn't optimize that. For presentation purposes, I think to show the effectiveness of a strategy that's optimized, there's a lot of, it gets complicated. I didn't want to do that. So we just stuck with the platform default of 9-bar fast moving average. It's a simple moving average, and the 26-bar simple moving average as well is a slow moving average. So that's all we did. Just kept it really simple. Thank you, Barry Beer. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Can we watch the play out strategy participating? Actually, that's a feature they're working on right now. The development team is. So to watch a paid event and just So we are working on that. If you like the idea, feel free, by the way, to hit on the customer support. So now go back over to your events. On the lower right-hand corner, we've got excellent customer support, and you can ask some questions and can type a new conversation and ask, can I watch a paid event, right? And Michael should probably respond. Or another thing you can do, there's two things you can do. You can start the conversation and then send a message to Michael. So if he's still online, I think he is, or Leslie is, then they'll respond to that. So I can press enter. Okay, and the other thing is it'll take you to a Q&A library that has all sorts of pre-answered events as well. So, okay, I'm going to close this down. Press the X down here to close that down. Yeah. So Michael's there to answer and help out with things. Okay, I think we've covered it today, folks, and I appreciate you coming out. Again, it was fun, and we if you guys like this, let us know. This is recorded, by the way, Ahmed. So can you practice trading futures? Yeah, Michael, you can. Right now, the practice events are not using futures, but maybe we can look at that, because I'm a huge futures trader. I love futures markets. That's my background, so I could see a benefit there. Yeah, maybe a future webinar we can trade gold or bonds, or maybe one of the currencies as well. Now, it looks like a lot of people here are getting on the free event. So right here, the free event. Let me go back to the events page. So we just have a bunch of people, trading, and now, 9 people right now trading. It starts in 4 seconds. So good kudos to you. Yeah, take advantage. It's a lot of fun. Okay, looks great. Training, yeah, it is. Well, I like it a lot, and you'll experience something you didn't expect to experience. For me, at least, I've been trading obviously for a long time with the hedge fund. I've seen just about everything under the sun, and to go through the exercise of speed trading, it's really cool. It's almost like you can see the patterns unfolding faster. I believe it builds confidence in a strategy as well, because then you get a situation where you can really see it work on real stocks and markets and see its weaknesses. Every strategy has a weakness as well. And yeah. Another question, can we create our own event? You can create your own event. And the way to do that up here is click on this Create Event button. Good question there, Michael. And then right here, you can say the time and the date. So this will start at 7:20 if we want to do it. Today's date, you can actually dictate the speed at which the speed trading is done. You can have everybody invited, or 1 versus 1 if you want to challenge somebody. And then you can even determine a payout if you want to do that. So it's pretty crazy. And if you don't want to do it, just type in 0 for the dollar amount and then press Create Event. And that's going to create an event that's going to appear underneath. I'll go back to events. It'll be underneath the member events. No, I'm sorry. Is that member or speed? Yeah. So speed trading featured, or maybe that's under private. Yeah. So that's under private. So, but I can have, friends and whatnot. And maybe I had the wrong setting there for private or public. So, and for 1 versus 1, I think that defaults to private, but for member, I think you can create an event that appears under there. I should know that. Yeah. And then for all the events you signed up for, you can click on Enter, and that's going to display all the events that you have previously entered. But I click all, and it shows all the different events that are being featured and offered. All right, so again, let me show one last slide here in closing. Don't forget, let's go back here. I'm going to go way back here. But don't forget that there is a schedule if you want to find other traders online. The 3 featured event types, don't forget, are Top Trader Challenge every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern. You want to show up early because they have 2 paid practice sessions as well, which is cool. And then you want to make sure that also you're aware of the Wolf of Wall Street every night, 7 p.m. Eastern. And then you also want to do Lunch Hour Frenzy Monday through Friday, 12 noon. And I'm going to tell you about something really cool. They're rolling out a tournament style. So it's a tournament winners advance, and that's going to be a total blast. And it's going to force you to read your charts, to put indicators up there, figure out what works for you and what doesn't. And there's the only loss you have is whatever your entry fee is. So that's your maximum exposure. But I can tell you that thousands of dollars have been paid off at tradeoff.com. And right now is the time to get there. I mean, start practicing now so you'll be ready for the Top Trader Mega Challenge on the 24th of February. And that's going to go up. I think there'll be a $25,000 one here in the not-too-distant future and a $10,000 one. So get over there, have some fun. It's a great thing to do if you're just finding yourself with a slow Saturday or a nice quiet evening and you want a quick break away from the troops. You can go over there and sign up for the Wolf of Wall Street and every night. Top Trader Challenge on Saturday, or the Lunch Hour if you can break away around 12 noon Eastern. Lunch Hour Frenzy has been pretty popular lately with a few traders. And this thing's just rolling out. It's just going to get bigger over the next couple of weeks and months. All right, so that is it, folks. I'm going to leave this up here, but we are done for this webinar. And thanks for coming. Do I see my P&L? Yeah, so let me just throw this back up there. So for profit and loss, yeah, so you can see that under your profile. If you're talking about how much money you've won, if you're talking about for an individual event, you can go to your stats, right? For the last event we traded on, And I can go over here and say, okay, where did you do, Mark? And I can go over here and say I was, let's see, Mark H. So for this one, oh, I'm out of the ranking, so it didn't give me a, oh, okay, that's an event I signed up and didn't play. Excuse me, let me go back over here. So the one I played was this one right here. So this is the stats, and this is where it'll say Mark, and then I made $700 there. Now, if you want to find out how much real money you made, that's going to be under your profile. So you can look at that and see that as well. Okay, let me show you the events page again. All right, so during the event, as it's running, where do I see my P&L during the trading event? Let me throw that back up there. Let's go back over to the previous screen. If you go back and under snapshots, right here on the order entry bar, this is actually going to be revised. They're actually rolling out a new, I think, an easier to read charting window, but that's where you find it right now. Everybody starts with a $100,000 account equity right here. You got to watch your buying power too. You can max out on your account, and this shows you your P&L. So you start with $100,000, $753 is profit from there, and this up here is your number of shares you're long or short. Obviously, buy, sell, close, you get all that, and then you're formatting. You know, if I want to draw trend lines here, I can do that, right? I draw a trend line on my chart, although, you know, you don't have a lot of time to do that during speed trading. Please show us your URL address one more time. I can do that, www.trade. Actually, I think I can just copy it on there. Yeah, tradeoff.com. So let me push that out for everybody. That's for this tool, these windows you see. During the event, as it's running, where do I see my P&L? Okay, Z, hopefully, I think I've answered that. Thanks, Mark, sharing your experience, time, and knowledge. Believe me, it's very hard work to share your time and knowledge with others. Thanks. Ahmed, appreciate it. Very nice of you to say. So we've got a great group of people here tonight. And again, you know, hey, I can't emphasize this enough. Try it. Try the Top Trader Challenge this weekend. It's really a lot of fun. Yep. And, okay, Michael, you're still stuck at signing up. Okay, so here's what you need to do, Michael. Right over here, go on the bottom right-hand corner and click on this, and it's a new conversation, and say, hey, send a message right here. So, hey, I am still stuck at sign up, right? See where I'm typing that in the very bottom there? Sign up. And then we have customer service. I'm going to press enter, and then it pops up there, and customer service is going to say, okay, let us help you. And so type it in the very bottom. There's a search one above. That's what I did last time, searching for topics. But on this particular one, let them know, and they'll give you a hand, Michael. The green dot's not on your page. What's your browser? You'd be curious to know. So it should be. You should see that green light. You see it on my screen. So hopefully you can see it in the lower right-hand corner. That's customer support. So that'd be very strange. Okay, you're in Chrome. Yeah, you should see that. That's very strange. Can you do me a favor? In fact, let me see what Michael, what is, if you're on here, can you tell me what the email address is? A support at TradeOff? I think it's support at TradeOff is the email address. And then if you can send us a screenshot, we'd love to see that. But that's very strange. One thing you can do is go up and refresh your chart. So right here at the top, you see my refresh, and I can click on that and then refresh my screen. And then sometimes that'll correct any type of issue. Sometimes if it's hung up, see how my screen is now refreshing? I can go back down and click on this. So, yep, support at tradeoff.com. Thanks, Michael. So let me get that there. Support. I'm going to copy that in everybody's question and answer here, and you can use that. Yeah. So, Michael, I'm sorry. Yeah. So you've got an email address that we can contact as well. Okay, he may have hit Control to zoom out of screen. Yeah, Jim's saying if you hit Control, you can zoom out of your Chrome. So just be aware of that. Usually, I think your mouse wheel actually works with that. So I'll show you right now. So let's see here. Okay, so right here, I'm going to hold down my Control. See how I can zoom in and out? But it still keeps my customer support dot there, that on the lower right-hand corner. So you can still use that. Okay, folks, we are wrapping up here, respecting everybody's time, especially on the East Coast, as you guys are approaching 9:30. Thanks for coming, and to all of you, great to see everybody here. Excited to see you guys on Saturday, and you gals as well. Saturday, 11 a.m., chalk it down, right? Top Trader Challenge. If you do nothing else, right, make sure you hit that on Saturday. That's fun, and that's going to tell you where you're at with respect to your chart trading, too, in a lot of ways. So I've actually improved my chart trading dramatically by finding weaknesses. You know, I had finding things that actually worked out really well. New trading strategies. These are real markets, right? So yeah, it can be highly effective. And okay, so you can. Jim's saying you can actually use your control, or you may have hit control to zoom in and out, or plus or minus sign as well. Jim, thanks. I appreciate that. That's back on the events page. Cam, appreciate that. Yeah, this is fun stuff. Go to the Top Trader Challenge on Saturday. You'll have a blast. And I want to thank Jeanette and the TradeThirsty group. They are great folks at there. I love the TradeThirsty. They have events. They're always top shelf, and appreciate them having me here. And I can tell you that they're just great people in general. So if you're coming to TradeThirsty events, you know, I'm a big fan. I think they have content that always adds value to my trading. So be sure to come to future TradeThirsty events as well. Okay, folks, have a great evening. Thanks for coming out. Again, Top Trader Challenge, Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Wolf of Wall Street, every night, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Lunch hour frenzy, win some lunch money off of other traders. And that's at noon, Monday through Friday, noon Eastern. I should have put Eastern Standard Time there. Yeah, everything's Eastern. Have a great evening, everybody. Good luck trading, and we'll continue to track these markets and find some fun education for the next event. Have a nice evening.